What's up, everybody? Hello. How's it going? So I'm on my way home. It's 6 o'clock. I'm gonna stop at Walmart to get some stuff. How's everybody doing? How you doing? So, I was curious to see if anybody else had questions for people who are transgendered. And, of course I get stuck behind somebody who's paying cash. Instead of going through the easy pathway, of course. So, yeah. So I figured I would tackle some questions that I've gotten, and seeing if anybody else had questions. Don't feel scared about asking me questions. You'd be surprised at the questions that I've gotten. I will be as candid as possible. And I'm open, like I said, I'm open to anybody who has questions for me. Of course, my freaking new phone holder is deciding to act up. Hold on, peeps. It'll be a little nauseating for a second. Okay. That work? Whew. Okay. Sorry about that. Let's see, y'all. Okay, hopefully that sticks, because that's going to be terrible if it comes off again. So, what do we got? Anybody got questions for me? So one of the questions that I've gotten before was actually from a coworker of mine from a previous job, and he asked, did I always know? And my response is, did I always know what? I knew what he meant, but I just wanted him to be more specific. And he said, did I always know that I was transgender? Yes and no. My earliest memory that I have of knowing was when I was around, my guess would probably be 7 or 8. And the reason why I say that is because I knew early. I didn't know what transgender was. I didn't know what transgender was until 22, I believe. And even then, it took me a while to realize that I was, because I couldn't put my finger on it, if that makes sense. So, yeah. So I knew when I was young. I knew when I was like, I want to say 7 or 8. I had drawn pictures in school. My mom actually showed me one of them last year, I think, or the year before. She was going through a lot of the drawings that I did when I was young. I think it was kindergarten or first grade, and it was me with like no hair on my head, very short hair, in like a t-shirt and shorts, playing sports, and just I can't remember what I put as a name, if I even put my name on there or not. But it was a very early sign for my mom, knowing that something was up, something was different, she was just expecting something different from me. And then she just kind of remembers me talking about just being uncomfortable in my own skin, just not wanting to be around other girls, not wanting to play with girls, always wanting to play with boys, and me associating myself as a boy, and not knowing any different, that I was any different. I also, not to jump subjects, but I didn't realize that, actually I did never mind, that's another story. So I did know, I knew very young, that something was different about me. Not that, so there's a difference between, and which a lot of people I'm sure don't know, well, some they may know, but there's a difference between being transgendered and so gender identity and sexual orientation. Some people didn't realize that. Some people, like, they would ask me, did you always know that you were gay? And I'm like, well, I'm not gay, but I'm transgender. There's a difference. And a lot of people, surprisingly, didn't know that. A lot of people thought that it was because it is in the T in the LGBTQ and a whole bunch of other acronyms now, is in that they assume that it has to do with who you're attracted to or who you're sexually attracted to. But it's not. It has nothing. Gender identity has nothing to do with sexual orientation. However, you can be transgendered and identify as love you too, Stavi. You can be transgendered and identify as gay or as a lesbian or whatever. So but that's something that a lot of people didn't know, is that being transgendered and your sexual orientation is very different. So, less than 101. Just kidding. So, let's see. What other questions have I gotten? Oh, a lot of questions have to do with surgeries. And, like, if every transgender person has surgeries, no, not every transgender person has or even wants surgery. A lot of surgeries cost a lot of money because of healthcare, insurance, and people thinking that gender-affirming surgeries are a cosmetic thing instead of a basically life-saving procedure. Some trans people, literally, it comes down to being a life-saving situation where they are so extremely uncomfortable in their bodies that having a double mastectomy, or basically, so we call them top or bottom surgeries for the female to male community. And then honestly, I don't know the male to female. I know there's they get they get the Adam's apple shaved down. There's bottom surgery for both. There's, again, top surgery for both, where you would have breast implants, or you would have estrogen medication to help you produce more breast tissue for male to female. But for just speaking from female to male, it's generally having top surgery or in bottom surgery that I know of. So for gender reassignment surgery, so it can be interesting. It's if you're interested in that and you want to know more, please feel free to ask. Like I said, I am an open book. I'm very, very willing to talk to anybody, especially when it comes to education. I feel like when educating about the trans community and my journey, I will speak only on my journey and how I identify and how I present myself, because, and I've said before, every transgender person's story is different. What they go through personally is very different, and it will be different than me. Some people wait later in life to transition because sometimes they just don't realize it until later in life, and they're just on a path of self-discovery. So that's a big thing as well. We can't expect every person's story to be the same. So someone like, let's see, there's a bunch of my friends that have gone through both top and bottom surgery. Do I want top and bottom surgery? I personally want top surgery. It's definitely something that will help me in my own comfort in my own body. Bottom surgery, I'm not, in a place to be able to afford it. And two, that's a whole nother ball game for me. As far as, for some other people, like I said, some other people are so uncomfortable with their bodies that they need that. And like I said, sometimes it is a life-saving surgery that they need. Thankfully, with when we had President Obama in office, he made a very bold statement in saying that trans people deserve to have health care, and required a lot of insurance companies to take a look at their policies and make it more inclusive, which was a blessing, a huge blessing. And unfortunately now, with the current president, our health care is under attack, and we can unfortunately be denied again any health care. So it's a constant battle when it comes to that stuff. But let's see, what other questions can I answer? Do you guys have any questions? Anybody have questions for me? I'm trying to think of like common questions that we get. How fast another question I've gotten was, how fast do changes happen? How fast do, like, your physical changes? And one other very common question is, does testosterone make you mad or angry? From a medical standpoint and coming from a medical background, no. Plain and simple. Testosterone does not make somebody angry. If, however, you have issues with anger, or there's an underlying more aggressive potential for you, then it may come out in a different way. But the hormone testosterone does not make somebody angry. So that's a kind of a myth that's been put out there. Changes. So again, that's another personal journey for everybody. I personally, my voice dropped within 3 months. I had that, squeaky voice that, a lot of teenage boys go through. They squeak a lot, a lot as their vocal cords start to thicken. And that happened about, I would say, like 2 to 3 months it started happening. My voice kind of leveled off at, like, I would say 9 to 12 months. Facial hair, which a lot of guys look forward to. Again, it kind of goes with your genes. If you're the male, if the male side of your family has strong genes when it comes to facial hair, you might be lucky, and you might get it sooner than later. I know some people who have been on T for 10 years, and all they can just get just a little bit of scruff on their face, and that's it. Again, it goes to genes. I hope you guys are still there. I hate when my phone does that. But yeah, so it goes to genes. A lot of people, and that's the other thing with trans guys, and anybody who is transgender who might be watching this. Try really, really, really hard not to compare your journey to somebody else. That's a way to get really frustrated or to get really depressed, and I hate seeing that. I really do, because my journey, like, I had facial hair within like 3 to 6 months. Not a full beard. I didn't get a full beard until maybe a year. But I did have a goatee, and my sideburns came down, and then this part of my beard started filling in. Now it's still thinner up here, but I can grow pretty much a full beard now. And mind you, I've been on hormones for now almost 9 years. So, yeah. It's a big one. Try not to compare yourself to another's journey. Let's see here. What else? Anybody have questions? Don't be scared to ask questions. What else? What else? What else? What else? Trying to think. Gotten a couple. I've kind of answered a lot of them, or the 3-4 main ones that I get. Oh, another question. So, it's actually more from a transgender point of view, asking to you guys who are not trans, if, you know, and if you're single also too. I've gotten the question, and I've posed this question to my friends before, because I'm very curious to see what people say. But if somebody is transgendered and they are interested in you or dating you or whatever, how would you react? And when do you expect somebody to tell you if they are transgender? Because that's the hardest part. Like, I get a lot of questions from my trans friends who say, when should I tell somebody? Should I tell somebody? And especially when it comes to dating, that's hard. I mean, I personally was very lucky. I was with my now wife prior to my transition, and she was very accepting, and yes, it took time for her, but we worked through it. We talked, we communicated about everything, and it ended up being okay, and that we would stay together. But for some people it's not, and some people, it's hard when you identify as one thing and then you're in a relationship. You have to also give that other person, your other half, time to figure out if that's okay for them, if that's what they want to, if that's what they want in life. And that can be that's a big hurdle that some couples need to go through. And at which point I would suggest just taking it slow, taking it, one day at a time. Talk to people, talk to friends. If you don't feel comfortable talking to friends about it, I would definitely seek out some couples therapy for it, because it's a big change. It's not just the change for the person that's going through the transition. It's a big change for family. It's a big change for friends. Luckily, my friends, I haven't lost really too many friends from it, but some have distanced themselves from me, which is totally fine. I get it, and I don't expect everybody to be okay with it. The only thing I ever ask anybody is to be respectful of me. That's all. But I have to realize that, my closest friends that I grew up with, and my family especially, we need to realize, as the person who's transgendered, that they too are going to go through their process of acceptance or not. And realizing that they're not really, a lot of people disagree with me on this, but my feelings towards it is they need their process to grieve. They need their time to grieve, because technically they're not losing that person. However, in a way they are, because they're still the same person inside. They still have the same morals. They still have the same heart. They still have, the same values in life. However, the outside is changing. It took like I've said before, it took my mom and my brother a little while to, get used to not having his sister, and my mom not having her daughter. They had to grieve that process, and they had to go through that, and you have to give your loved ones space and time to kind of go through the process and comprehend what's going on. We can't expect people to, use correct hormones, to use correct pronouns, to use the correct name, to use everything we want on our time. We can't expect that. And friends and, and your loved ones, they have to have the time to get used to it. Let them ask you questions. Let them go through the process with you. Because the more you shut them out, the more they're going to not want to be around you, not understand why you've come to this decision or whatever, or how long you've been knowing this. Sometimes it hurts them to realize that you kept that from them. So along our journey of transitioning, we have to allow friends and family and loved ones to go through their journey. However, it does come to a point where respect needs to be given as well. So if somebody is going at the transgender person in a way to hurt them, to be disrespectful, that's to me, it's unacceptable. If we've given you the time, the space to go through your process and to go through, the things that you need to go through, but yet you still choose not to use the correct name and gender pronouns and things like that, that's just plain old disrespect. And at that point, for me, that's when I, take those people out of my life. I don't need that. I don't want that. I want people who bring me up and lift me up, so that I can do the same to you. So that was another big question, is how to, talk to, friends and family about it, how to, bring them through and on the journey with you. And unfortunately, a lot of trans people can lose their loved ones, and friends, and it sucks. I've seen many people, message me and say, my mom and my dad are being completely disrespectful to me. They've thrown away my clothes that I wanted to wear. They refuse to use my name that I'm now, going to be going by. They refuse to use the correct pronouns. It's heartbreaking. It's very, very heartbreaking. And I don't wish that on anybody, ever. Even my worst enemy, I would never wish that type of treatment. So yeah, it's not easy. And I put that post up on my Facebook about choice, it being a choice. It's not a choice. In all reality, who would choose to live this lifestyle? Who would choose to, stick an 1.5-inch needle into them to get hormones every single week for the rest of their lives? Or who would choose to be verbally and mentally and sometimes physically attacked for who they are? Who would choose to not be protected under the law, and get equal treatment? Who would choose that lifestyle? Nobody would choose that lifestyle. So it's not a choice. It's been medically proven as well that transgender people have it in their brain. They were born this way. It just, over time, it's when they realize who they are and they come into their own, into their own self. And that's the process of it being different for everybody. One of my friends, their son, is now vocalizing at a young age that he's really interested in, dresses and more of the feminine, lifestyle or whatever on the gender spectrum. He's now leaning towards the feminine side. And so I've had this parent reach out to me and ask me for advice. And I love that. I love that people are asking how to accept their, or how to, talk to their children, or how to embrace them and know that, and talk to them so that they know that they're going to always be loved, and know that they have their support of their, their parent or parents. It's a process. It's a process for everybody. It's not going to be easy. It's never easy. When you're in a minority group, or when you're in a community, when you're a part of a community that's marginalized and under the microscope a lot of the times, or it's very hard. It's hard to stand up for your rights sometimes, and it's hard to, stand your ground with bullies. There's a lot of it out there. And if anybody is seeing this that needs help with that, me and my group of friends, especially two really, really good friends of mine, Caden and Jace, we are working diligently on trying to help the trans community and lift each other up. And, you know, there's stuff, you know, going on in the works that we're working really hard on, you know, and working together to try to figure stuff out for our community, especially local, and then, you know, hopefully it'll get bigger. But, you know, anybody that you know, that needs help, please feel free to reach out. I'll put, after this video is done, I'll contact Caden, and see if maybe he could put in the comments. I don't know if you're watching, Caden. I see, you came up, but put the, trans resources, information in the comments, or I can add it to this video so that people can click on it and you know, find a way to contact you as well. Caden's amazing. He can, you know, help people find resources anywhere. He's incredible with that stuff. So, yeah. If you guys have questions, if you have concerns, if you need, you know, ways to reach out to somebody that you feel like might need support and they don't have it, reach out to us. We love bringing more people into our group and showing that, you know, it's a hard process, but we're here. We have a community here to help you. And we have resources that can help you as well. So yeah, I hope this video helps in some way. Again, we're always here to help. We're always here to advise, to suggest things. A lot of my friends have gone through the transition, and some disagree, some agree on this, but to me, transitioning is a continuous process. Yes, you can, medically, you'll hit a point where changes don't really happen. A whole lot of changes don't happen anymore. But to me, transition is continuous. But yeah, I think that's it. If you guys have questions, if you have concerns, if you have comments, if you have suggestions on videos that you would like, or if you have more, you know, topics that you want me to talk about as far as being transgender or the community, or, you know, things like that, reach out, let us know, let me know, and we will do our best. I know Jace really would love to do another video with me, and I would love to have him on as well. And anybody else that, you know, wants to join one of these chats, feel free to request to come live, and you guys can ask me questions. You can, you know, request things, whatever. We're here. We want to help in any way possible. So don't be scared. We're here, all right? All right, I gotta go let these crazy dogs out to go potty, but I will talk to you guys later. Again, open, send me messages, find me on Instagram, find me on Facebook. You guys found me on Facebook, so Instagram, I have Twitter, I have Snapchat, I have Instagram, Twitter, chat, TikTok. I'm trying to get all this stuff up and going, but mainly right now I'm using my Instagram and my Facebook to reach out to people. Yeah. Don't be afraid. Say hi. Ask me questions. All right? I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night.